Gasp.
Hello. This is the first playtest session of Site 42. Well, the first official one. I've done a very, very small one in the past with stuff that is mostly all changed by now. But it went well, so I'm excited for this one too. To start off here, I'm going to go ahead and give a overview of the game and the setting for everyone watching, as well as you all. Site 42 is a role-playing game about a group of people in the modern world called the Department Heads, who are extremely talented professionals working as upper management for a highly secretive organization tasked to safeguard the common populace from the effects of the strange and supernatural. This organization is called the Society for Universal Normalcy, or SUN. The department heads will be tasked with confronting these strange events called anomalies and designing procedures for safely containing them within their top secret facility called Site 42. As more anomalies are contained, the department heads will be faced with a containment breach that will put them, their teams, and their containment procedures to the ultimate test. For this playtest version, we're not going to experience that full arc. We are going to be running through one entire anomaly from its, including all of its investigations. This is an important distinction because in the final game, you will be able to run any anomaly in any order and with as many investigations as you want for that one, depending on when you introduce it. So you may get different versions of the same anomaly, ones that are more or less lethal, more or less horrifying, depending on when you play them. This version is going to be the full kit and caboodle of A-1004. So the department heads, the player characters in Site 42, are a group of esteemed professionals in their respective fields, all with a penchant for dealing with the anomalous. They've all been recently scouted and hired by Sun to manage their new black site, Site 42. The nature of this relationship naturally means the group of characters may be less obviously cohesive with one another. This is fine and even encouraged. With the proper safety tools in play, we should be able to roleplay these kinds of tense relationships effectively and within the bounds of everyone's comfort and consent. The department heads are each responsible for their own team of 5 middle managers who help them effectively run their department, each of which have their own specialties and personalities. These middle managers will both help and, at times, hinder their own department heads as well as potentially department heads of other departments, either directly or indirectly. As players, you should avoid talking about your character's past until prompted to do so by the game's rules. We'll talk more about this in a bit, but for now it's important to keep in mind that the department heads are mysterious, even enigmatic characters whose stories we want to learn, but slowly and dramatically. The game takes place on an alternate version of our Earth. Ultimately, it will see your characters traveling far and wide across the globe in order to maintain global normalcy. That being said, there are 2 foundational areas in this game, and additionally, there will be a bit of a bias toward the United States of America in my specific writing because that's where I've lived all my life. I do plan on in the future getting people of different nationalities to write different anomalies for their sections of the world so that I'm not, even regardless of how much research I may or may not do, I'm not fucking anything up there because I'm just a white woman. Site 42 is a secret, literally underground, shadowy black site paid for and maintained by the secretive and powerful Society for Universal Normalcy, or SUN. The site itself is a vast expanse of sectors and rooms connected by grid-like corridors. The exact appearance of the site is up to you and your table's discretion, but there are specific areas and rooms within the site that we will cover a little bit more later. For now, the most important things to remember about Site 42 is that the department heads, their staff, all spend the majority of their work hours here. We're not interested in all of the humdrum of their day-to-day lives, though we will explore that aspect somewhat through the course of the game. Most of the game's time will be spent on location investigating anomalies. There is a list of rooms on the site sheet. They are not conclusive. Just because you don't have cubicles unlocked doesn't mean there aren't any cubicles in the site, just that our game isn't currently concerned with offices as larger pieces of our narrative. You're also encouraged to write your own rooms once you have some familiarity with the game. The Town of Vigilance. Each one of Sun's secret underground sites are accompanied by a town or city topside to direct any attention away from the subterranean activities of Sun and its employees. These decoy towns tend to be populated in majority by Sun personnel and their families, though it's estimated that anywhere from 25 to 33% of any decoy town's regular population are just people unaware of the anomalous. The town of Vigilance is Site 42's decoy town, boasting a population of roughly 5,000 people. The exact geographic location of Vigilance and Site 42 is up to you to decide, though, again, it has a bit of a geographical knowledge bias toward the United States. The town of Vigilance will largely be a backdrop for the overall campaign, much like Site 42 itself, though Vigilance will be detailed more in Code 4, which is the fourth layer of the campaign, which is not going to be necessarily handled so much in this playtest. A core component of what makes this genre popular is the simple question. What if some or all of these contained horrors were uncontained? What if they escaped? In Site 42, after you contain 4 anomalies, the department heads are faced with a breach scenario that will put them, their staff, and their containment procedures to the ultimate test. Each breach scenario will be different based on the events of your game up to this point. They will all be intense, exhilarating, and potentially terrifying. The department heads will need to recontain their breached anomalies in some way or another, or risk the shattering of universal normalcy. Discretion warning, this game is irrevocably dark, strange, and steeped in the occult and corporate culture. This game will focus on many potentially unsavory themes, such as unreality, body horror, psychological horror, death, corporate culture, amnesia, the occult, human experimentation, religion and cults, as well as global conspiracy, sexual themes, and dark humor. If these themes aren't for you, you're encouraged to find something that you enjoy playing that doesn't lean so heavily on these themes, such as Public Access by Jason Cordova or Monster of the Week by Michael Sands. Not every game is made for everyone, and that's okay. Your own mental health and well-being always comes first. So, with that being said, we have all made characters just off camera, and I would like to go through just in list of the way that the playbooks are presented. If we could all introduce ourselves and our characters, as well as the little facts that I asked you all to have ready. You don't need to narrate your flashback yet. We'll do all of those once everyone has introduced properly. So starting with Aaron and Dr. Imogen.
Hello, I am Aaron. My pronouns are she, they, they. I also go by Cthulhu in some places. That's fine as well. So I will be playing the lead researcher, Dr. Imogen Cerulean, whose pronouns are she, they. So Imogen is originally from a small town in the Pacific Northwest. She has a sister named Denise Cerulean. Their parents are no longer with us. I'll leave that vague. Remind me of the third question, Steph.
Hobby. Just her favorite hobby. What does she like to do?
Hobby. This seems weird. Calligraphy is her favorite hobby.
Ooh. And did you say where they lived prior to moving to Vigilance? I totally spaced a little bit.
A small town in the Pacific Northwest.
Gotcha. Thank you very, very much. And could we also get your virtue and fear?
Oh, yes. So my fear is reflections, and my virtue is diligence. I can do my character look as well, I suppose. She has a spotless and perfectly ironed white lab coat, smart spectacles that show data readouts, and pockets everywhere.
Excellent. Dr. Imogen is the lead researcher, the head of the research department. Her team oversees and handles all testing and research on anomalies and anomalous materials within Site 42. The lead researcher's core moves allow them to either be a stalwart presence of logic and realism in the face of the anomalous, or a powerful psychic presence that can alter reality itself. Play the lead researcher if you want to be the smartest person in the room, if you want to direct some of the brightest minds in the world, or if you want to explore the dynamic relationship between reality and unreality. And moving over to Kyle and Superintendent Arena Jarvis.
So my name is Kyle Meeks. I use he, she, they, it pronouns. I'm also known as the Spybrarian, probably on the Discord and a couple of other places. And I'm playing the Operations Administrator, Superintendent Arena Jarvis, whose pronouns are they, them, and grew up right in the middle of Nashville, Tennessee, and has spent their entire life there for a long, long time until they finally moved out to the town of Vigilance. Uh, they were an only child and never. They don't keep in touch with their contact. They are just fresh off of their third divorce, and they let's see, what was the last one? Oh, hobbies. Um, they are really into puzzles nowadays.
Love that. Could we also get your character look, your fear and virtue, please?
Oh, that's all right. So Arena is wearing a tweed blazer, nice dark brown tweed blazer over an orange dress with worn denim jeans. Uh, they've got eyes that shake and an air traffic controller's headset that they're always talking into. They're afraid of crowds, and their virtue is order.
Excellent. Superintendent Arena Jarvis is the head of the operations department. Their team takes care of Site 42's more mundane needs, such as cleaning, maintenance, and general administration of the site and its staff. The operations overseer's core moves allow them to either organize and catalog things to such a degree that it is nearly supernatural, or to speak with any living thing that is capable of vocalizing. Play the operations overseer if you want to facilitate communication between departments, if you want to micromanage side characters and department heads, or if you want to be the underappreciated glue that holds the facility together. And moving on to Jane and Officer Ulissa Locke.
Hello. Hello, I am Jane, they, them pronouns. I am Trekkie140 on Discord and everywhere. I will be playing Officer Ulissa Locke, she, they pronouns. And uh, her parents are well, and she does not know the whereabouts of both parents. She does know that one of the other one was found buried in her backyard, and her brother was arrested for it. so that so that's a so that's some baggage she's brought in. But her and the circumstances of discovering that body tie into her fear of detrivores. There's things that eat dead things. Then the and her virtue is tenacity. The, the, the hobby. Hey, I considered like reading her books, but I want her. She plays board games. That's her hobby. Yeah, she, I mean, she runs. She probably runs a board game club that is that is a little distressing to play with her because her face does not move. But yeah, she likes. But yeah, chess, cards, board strategy. She she likes to play them, and she invites people to play with her. In her in her usual uh, well in her usual monotone, calm voice. And he said, "You're muted, Steph."
That I am. Can we also get your character look, please?
Oh, yes. She wears a three. She wears a pad. There's a three-piece suit with padding underneath. She has one eye that she has one eye, and she
Oh, there you go.
There we
And
go.
back, and we're back.
Aha! My Zoom crashed. We love functioning apps.
How
Mhm.
much of my story do I need to repeat?
Just your character look, please.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Ulissa wears there's a three-piece suit with padding underneath, with armor padding underneath. If she has one eye, but does not wear an eye patch. And she has a voice like silk.
Lovely. Officer Ulissa Locke is the head of the security department. Her team manages all on-site matters of security, from anomaly containment to topside civilian access prevention and protection of Site 42's decoy town vigilance. The site security administrator's core moves allow them to either keep calm in the face of terror or to telepathically bond with their staff to always be in communication with them. Play the site administrator if you want to be the first line of defense against the anomalous, if you want to interact with detainees, or if you want to police the staff of Site 42. And last but certainly not least, General Gilbert Burns.
General Gilbert Burns. He came. He claims that he just comes from the woods, but in reality, he probably came from sort of somewhere in Pennsylvania. Small enough population that the town never really got incorporated. That sort of thing. Uh, his sort of context, he really doesn't have any family to speak of, but he likes to hang out on forum websites, so he has like the friends online. Specifically, he loves Vector Void. He has a friend named Atrophy 85 that he likes to talk to about conspiracies within sort of video game knowledge. That sort of thing. But his hobby, he loves historical stuff, like reenactments. That's why he wears a tricorn hat. I should go into more of his look because he also has a hidden knife at all times. Whether it's pocket knives, full on like sabers, just if it's sharp and it's a blade, he probably has it. He has this velveteen gray blazer with gold buttons and matching loose hewn pants. Probably looks like it came from like the 1920s, not very modern. His fear is being watched, but it's more or less if he can't see them and they're watching him, he's afraid of that rather than just people looking at him. And his virtue is acceptance, so he's just going to be a wild time. It's just a buddy.
Excellent. General Gilbert Burns is the field commander, the head of the site's roving commando units, also known as RCUs. Their team focuses on all special operations taking place outside of Site 42 that require units to be specially trained for handling one specific anomaly or for dealing with a specific type of anomaly. The field commander's team move allows them to set up a base camp for intense operations and manage their strike teams from the camp. Play the field commander if you want to be the one calling the shots in the field, if you want to be unstoppable, or if you want to be unbreakable. And with that, we're going to go around one more time in the same order, and I would like everyone to narrate a flashback to the first time they interacted with something anomalous, first time they experienced the anomalous.
Clarification, is this not necessarily in regards to like the job we had, just anytime we experienced the anomalous?
The very first time that you experienced an anomaly, yeah.
Cool. So I think when Imogen was young, and wandering the thick woods of the Pacific Northwest, there was a moment when the forest went dead silent. No bird song, no insects, And then she kept seeing this weird mask face that would lean out from behind a tree. And as she approached it, it would vanish and then appear behind an even further tree. This kept happening over and over again until she quickly realized she was being lured deeper and deeper into the forest. And before she lost sight of the path out, she turned and fled.
Excellent. Superintendent Arena Jarvis.
So this happened when Arena was, let's say, 8 or 9 years old. The details get a little hazy, but they were downtown in downtown Nashville. They just walked out of the Country Music Hall of Fame on a school trip, and as they were going to get on the bus, a crowd of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people, it seemed, surrounded the bus, and they all just sat and stared. And Arena just realized, I've got to talk to all these people. And so Arena got off the bus and looked at every single one of them, and it took days. For days on end, she spoke at least one word. They spoke at least one word to every single person, and all the faces started to run together, and all the faces started to disappear, and they realized there never were no faces. And they came out of that experience very tired.
Mood. Same, buddy. Officer Locke.
It's like, Ulyssa grew up in the suburbs in the Midwest. Her dad died when she was young, and so her mother raised her and her brother on her own. But her mother was a draconian. Incredibly stern, incredibly controlling. Had very specific ideas of ideas of what roles her children would be playing in society. Ulyssa was quite happy when when their mother skipped town, leaving her brother to be her legal guardian. Throughout all of high school. And it was a few days after graduating from school that she was woken up in the night by the sound of something digging, which the news reported as a dog, but she went and but she was face to face with that creature, and that was not a dog. And she could at the very least, it did not have that. At the very least, dogs do not have that many limbs. What's more, one of those limbs was the arm of her mother that it had just dug up out of her backyard. It ran off when it saw her, but she immediately called the police, and her brother was arrested. Her father was arrested the next day. Yeah. Hey.
Fuck. Damn. Yeah. General Burns.
Sorry for going before. Sorry for
great.
not going last. That might be a little intense.
We love it when someone goes hard.
Mhm.
I'm a Magnus Archives fan. I can't help myself.
I suppose for General Burns, it's not as fantastic as what has been already described. There wasn't exactly one moment exactly remembering the creature. But what he does remember, as a young child, he remembers his mother whistling in the kitchen, not quite cooking. It wasn't meant to be eaten. And she would hand little Gilly these jars of liquid. They're brown, they had the detritus in them, and he would shake them up. And she would say, "Put these on the front step there." And he would do it. And nothing would be odd about that. That was just how they handled the upcoming night. You don't go outside after dark. You stay inside. You stay inside. Our house was normal. Our house was sealed up. The windows were boarded. The door had all these locks attached to it. The house was warm. You saw the pipes running along the floor, up the walls, and the smell of not quite cooking. It was sweet and sickly, and the air was smoky at night. But we were safe, because you don't go outside after dark.
Hell yes. And now we're going to go around one last time, and we are all going to say one object that we think the others have brought with them to their office in Site 42. Starting with Dr. Cerulean. I'm giving you a static scalpel.
I see.
I like the idea that you have a. I mean, do these have to be mundane objects?
No, not necessarily. They're just things that they brought.
I like the idea that you have a sample of anomalous calligraphy. Yeah, it's not dangerous enough that it needs to be locked. That needs to be locked away, but you can't. But it's not allowed out of the facility, obviously. And it just keeps writing and erasing itself. It just writes different things and erases itself, and you admire it.
I like it. That's fun.
A thing I like to give all sorts of weird doctor characters is the flesh terrarium.
All right, let's go flesh terrarium.
No office is truly complete without a flesh terrarium.
And then I suppose right next to the flesh terrarium, you got to put a snow globe. A snow globe from that time you visited Toronto.
So I love the absolute mundanity of those two things next to each other.
You know, you got yourself a flesh terrarium, and then you got the good memories of that time in Toronto.
This is brilliant.
Incredibly specific.
Oh,
God,
this
just
game is
imagine
everything I wanted and more.
Imagine walking into that office like, oh, flesh tray, snow globe?
Does the snow globe do something? No, it's just a snow globe.
Yeah, it does. Watch. Turns it upside down.
If I press a button on the bottom, the word Toronto lights up.
What a random shot. What a completely random, utterly inconsequential tchotchke you cherish.
I love this so much.
I feel like we're going to find out a lot about what happened in Toronto.
Yeah. So you've definitely just informed a lot about my character.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh goodness.
What do we think that Superintendent Arena Jarvis has in their office?
Oh.
An an unplugged radio that picks up signals still.
Ooh, that's fun.
I like the idea that since Arena is a fan of reenactments, since they have a
That's Gilly.
Yeah, I think that's the general.
Yep, general.
No. Oh no, Arena's the one with the headset. Oop, is it my dad?
That's it in puzzles.
Yeah, I'm into puzzles right now.
Oh, I know. You have Squeeno's puzzle cube.
Ooh.
Who is Squeeno? It's unclear.
I'm just hanging on to it for them till they get back.
Squeeno.
Okay, I got one. It's one of the 3D puzzles of like Buckingham Palace. But if you're familiar with Unlondon from SCP, it's like that version of Buckingham Palace.
Okay.
I like the idea you have. I like the idea that you have it, that you have what appears to be a unfinished or finished or damaged head of a robot. It doesn't. It currently does not say anything. It currently doesn't say or do anything. It doesn't even seem to be on. But you have it.
That just made me think of handles from Doctor Who, and now I'm sad inside.
Yeah, I am hopelessly derivative.
So, what do we think
I
that
can't- I
Officer
can't-
Locke has in
I
her
can't come up
office?
with original ideas like a snow globe from Toronto. Where
All right. I already thought of one for Officer Locke based on the fear of stuff that eats the dead. Obviously, your dead parent was cremated, so you have their urn and ashes in your office.
I like to keep it where I can see it.
Damn.
This is going to be horrifying because I don't know how to use that to get advantage. I'm
I honestly, I was thinking about that, and I was like, imagine using your dead parents' ashes as something to give you advantage.
Pocket sand, pocket grandma.
You! I quit. Game over. I can't play after that. Anyway,
Oh,
so what were the other items in Ulysses' office?
I think you have a like Polly Pocket secret journal, but when you write something in it, something else other than what you writ appears.
Oh, yes, it's something. Polly writes me back.
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
There's a reason there's a reason this lock is still on it.
I think you've got a full Star Trek 3D chess set in your room, and it is set up to be the exact scenario setup that is in. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I don't. It matches the scenario setup from a famous scene that has from one of the films rather than the television show. But it's the whole kit and caboodle, glass, acrylic. It looks very expensive and very almost like it walked off the set.
Okay, that's just something I would have in real life, and is incredibly specific to how I watch the Star Trek movies before the TV show. Even though my literal username is Trekkie140 because I love the franchise so much. That's perfect. Perfect. And now I'm questioning if you have a camera in my house.
You can't prove I'm not watching.
Oh God, that's so scary.
Well, I don't
Oh,
like my neighbors. That's it. I don't like my neighbors anyway. I'm moving. Anyway, I think is General Burns up next.
Nope, I have to give you one item, and I think you have this rusted iron ball, but when you throw it, it explodes in sort of a band of like iron chains and entangles a person.
Oh. Yeah, that's just
Iron ball
something she
chain
like.
grenade. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, she just likes having that.
I would like having that.
But
I mean,
not
it's
for the
no-
same reasons.
You can't prove or deny anything.
Like if Shane didn't make the joke, I was going to.
Yeah. Ahem. On to General Gilbert Burns.
Oh, I have okay, imagine a big thing of like whey protein, like it's like that. It's the size of that thing that a gym bro would have, but it's tricorn hat polish.
No, it's that's just obnoxious.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
It can't be hat polish in general, specifically tricorn hat polish.
It's because
What,
I
you-
only own tricorn hats. It's just regular hat polish. However, I think it just like has a label of tricorn hat polish.
You printed it off like the office label maker to be like tricorn, and then put it on the thing, and it's like
That's great. The quotation marks. Oh shit. I think you have epaulettes, but the little dangly bits, the little tassels are silly bands.
I don't know what a paulette is.
They're these little shoulder things that military officers wear that
Oh.
have tassels on them, but this one is silly bands.
Okay.
Because I think he would like that.
It was technically speaking, it's less about historical reenactment because I didn't make this. I bought it offline on like Meg's list.
Meg's list. Brilliant.
Okay, I have one. You, as a historical buff, people aren't that surprised to find out you have the gun that killed Alexander Hamilton.
Oh
in
my
your-
God.
What is a little disconcerting is that you keep it in a soundproof box. It's okay for people to. It has a window people can look in, and it can. But specifically, the box is soundproof. What's a little. Then they noticed the bullet is kept in a. The bullet that killed Hamilton is in a separate box, and that raises even more questions.
Oh my God. Are the boxes next to each other? Because it's funnier if they are.
Yes, they're next to each other. Yes, they're next to each other, but you keep them in separate.
They're super glued to one another.
boxes. You keep them in separate soundproof boxes.
Okay. This one's weird. So instead of like a ship in a bottle, you have like a miniaturized pick a war of your choice reenactment in a bottle. And every time you look at it, the war has advanced in different ways. Not necessarily historically accurate either.
We got Nazis flying around in space with gorillas chasing them and shit.
This is why I said a war of your choice.
Hey, Steph, don't pitch games that are more interesting than this one. Because I will drop everything to play that game instead of this one.
I mean, honestly, I think I would too. Lovely.
I just love these items go from really mundane to why do you have that?
Honestly, the most mundane item of mine is the why do you have that also.
Well, considering SCP characters have distinct items like a ukulele, or one of the iconic SCP characters is a talking dog. Okay, we are exactly on the right vibe for this.
Yes. All right. So now we are going to move into the research phase. We might let's take 5, and then we'll move into the research phase. So the first session starts in the research phase. The first thing that I do in the research phase as the keeper is present a new anomaly if there are no currently active ones. So if you would all be so kind as to turn to the containment tab, this is where your anomalies are stored literally and figuratively. Excuse me. This anomaly is A-1004. You will get to come up with the colloquial name as well as the containment difficulty, danger level, and its normalcy effect level after containing the anomaly. So once you know what it all does, you get to literally define it effectively. A-1004 is a 200-foot or 60.96 meters tall Shoria fagtiana yellow Maranti tree that seems to be growing living creatures from its seeds on the coast of California. It was first brought to Sun's attention when a news tabloid in California published a story about an ancient tree suddenly appearing on the shore of Naples Island, Long Beach. There have also been reports of small, raw meat-like creatures roaming areas in the vicinity of the tree. They are suspected to be related. After Sun made a hefty donation to the Long Beach Police Department, Mother's Beach has been closed to the public to allow your teams to investigate the situation and decide on how and where to contain the tree. Officer Locke, when you get the briefing for this anomaly and look over the images provided, you see a meaty red tendril in the background of an image. What about it makes you think this tendril is deceptively resilient?
Was that for me? Ooh, let's say because it doesn't look like one. Because at a glance, it looks like just. It seems like a tendril. It seems like vaguely like an octopus tentacle, but then you get a closer look at it, and you start to notice it's actually multiple tendrils and tentacles wrapped around each other in a really tight rope-like spiral. So it's not one piece of meat; it's several long pieces of meat, threaded together.
Love that. hate it and love it. So for each anomaly, you also have something called Site Director Stars Notes. This is just a little thing that the site director has put in the margins effectively. Just a little commentary from him. I had a friend once. She was a botanist, and a damn good one at that. She would always tell me stories about how she'd talk to her plants and they'd grow stronger. Got me wondering, if the plants can hear us, how much more do they know about us than we do them? The first investigation for A-1004, if you go to the investigations tab, is called That Which Sustains. It is the suggested starter investigation for A-1004. You don't have to present these investigations in any order besides whatever you want to do first. So, since A-1004 is seemingly unaffected by the salt content of the water surrounding it, research hypothesizes that it doesn't get its sustenance from water, or perhaps even photosynthesis, as is typical for plant life. If you can find out how it sustains itself, you may be able to find a way to keep it alive without allowing it to gather enough energy for new roots to appear. Research also believes that the tree is prioritizing root growth near sources of energy. Operations has given each of you a map of the marine park, also known as Mother's Beach, and marked some locations with more root growth than in other areas. A hot dog stand, an unused lifeguard tower, and the docks. Dr. Cerulean, you have family that lives nearby Mother's Beach that you haven't spoken with since you joined Sun. Who are they, and why did you stop returning their messages?
I'm muted. I think it's like aunt and uncle, and maybe cousins. We'll say Warren and Madeline are the aunt and uncle's names. But after our parents, my sister and my parents passed, there was ugly infighting over inheritance and such, and that's why we no longer speak.
All right. So the questions and opportunities for this particular one are the threshold question: how does the tree get its nutrients? The complexity of 2. Answering it unlocks the next question, which is how can we stop the tree from producing roots without killing it? That one is a complexity 4, but for now, you only need to worry about that first one. Now, the next thing that we do here after presenting investigations is you may all assign up to 3 members of your team roster a job with the staff move. If you want to go to the reference tab here, the staff move says during the research phase, after new anomalies and investigations have been presented, the department heads may assign up to 3 members from their team roster to collect a clue, get a new item for your office, or work on a project. If you assign your team to work on a new project, say what it is now, what you hope to get from it, then ask the keeper how many boxes it requires. Keep track of this information somewhere convenient, like a separate piece of paper. During the clock out phase, after collecting rewards, we will resolve this move. You will roll based on how many people you sent out to do the thing. And you get to make some choices. Do any of you want to send out some members of your staff to go get some shit done? If you do not, then they will be available for you to interact with as if you would any other side character. So you can just kind of call on them and say, hey, come down here and have them do something, unless they're assigned, at which point they're already busy.
Yes, I think I do want to assign someone to this. I've got Darla Carpenter, who's the head of maintenance, who I think I direct them to like make sure that they are keeping an eye out for any of these new root growths while they are out doing like normal grounds maintenance and stuff. And Darla is incredible. They are a non-binary person in their late 30s that has a cyborg arm, and so they are always out and about doing lots of stuff. But I figure that they could probably be assigned to this, so that they are making sure that during their grounds maintenance and stuff, they are keeping an eye out to understand how the roots continue to spread, how far out they are, etc.
Awesome. So go ahead and mark Darla as assigned in your staff roster. There should be a drop down that you can click through. Excuse me. And we will get back to how she does with that at the end during the clock out phase. Does anyone else wish to send some staff out to do some things?
Yeah, I'll send out the Connolly brothers, so 2.
Mhm.
I don't think this situation would require my direct supervision of them with how they cooperate with each other. They make a pretty good team, and I'm going to send them out to find clues just to like spread our resources out.
Excellent. Officer Locke and Dr. Cerulean, do you wish to send any of your staff out?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to send out my lead biologist, Ilsong Yekel. And also I will send Solongo Ellison, who's a geoscientist. I'll send them both to go get clues. Feels like they could work together in tandem to analyze what this thing feeds on and kind of what the hell it is.
Nice. I love Solongo Ellison. She's so fucking weird. We'll get to her when she comes up, I'm sure. But she's great. All right. So after that, you can, if you want, attempt to answer a question. You can't though because you don't have any clues. But this is when this is an opportunity that you would be able to do so if you did want to and were able to.
I forgot why I was on mute, so I do actually have some staff I'd
cool.
like to assign. I would like to assign Sarah Albert, my reality security specialist. Seems like that would be very useful to have if we're suspecting if we're suspecting this tree does not draw sustenance from our from our world.
All right.
Well, plus she's just cool. I love her vibe.
You assigned Sunday.
No, Sarah.
No.
There you go. Oh, oops! I thought it was right above.
No, it's all good. No worries.
The drop down right above a person's name, not below it.
Yeah. All right. So now, what would everyone like to do during this research phase?
How do dice work?
You roll 2d6.
Oh.
Or 3, maybe. If you're lucky or unlucky. It's very simple. We'll get to it once we start actually rolling dice.
Yeah. I think... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I know what Locke would like to do is set up make sure the perimeter is secure.
The perimeter of the beach, to be clear.
Yes. Let's make sure let's make sure nothing sneaks up on us from the water.
Gotcha.
Question. The roots reached the hot dog stand, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's where Dr. Sterling will go.
Oh
Excellent.
man, General Gilbert wants to also to go to the hot dog stand.
And- yes, but I hope Gilbert is the one who brings an axe. Imogen doesn't.
I've got a scalpel. That's kind of, slicey.
And what would you like to get up to today, Superintendent Jarvis?
I think that I'm going to I want to get like a really good view of everything. So I'm actually going to go to the docks and
Okay.
and just get a real good overview of everything that's going on. And
All right.
thankfully, like Mother's Beach has been closed off, so like there won't be a lot of people.
Hopefully not. Supposedly. There shouldn't be, at least. So I think we will start with Officer Locke, who's casing the perimeter of Mother's Beach. So I'm going to go into the containment tab here and put in this location, because the anomalies will occasionally have specific locations that you can put wherever they may be. So this is Mother's Beach. Give me the thing, please. Thank you. There are candy and snack wrappers dotted across the sand, informational signs every few hundred feet, and police tape cordoning off the entire beach. It's a popular beach in Long Beach. That's so many times you say beach, but man, is it necessary? I hate English. Oftentimes filled with families enjoying sunny days, now an empty coast with a towering tree in the middle of it. Let's paint the scene. Paint the scene means I am going to ask a prompt to all of you, and you each get to respond. So, paint the scene. What discarded thing in the sand do we see get taken away by the tide? Why does it make your hair stand on end?
And one discarded item we see on the beach is this is only because like keeping keeping pet violence off screen. A dog's collar, collar, just the collar. Collar, collar.
Yeah, harm against animals, well, pets and whatnot has been lined outright. So
Yeah, not
I thought it
veiled.
was veiled. Never. Oh, I thought it was veiled. Never mind. And I'll think of something else.
I think that there is like little patches of like ooze and goo, and it's like this black sticky stuff. We're not sure what it is because like from what it sounds like, the meat monster is red. So black stuff is just weird.
No, this is the weird part, not the meat monster. This is this is the thing that disturbs me.
Just checking. Looks like harm to wild animals is okay. I'm not going to harm them though. Just include them. Portuguese man-o-wars dot the beach, but they have functioning human circulatory systems within them.
Oh. Oh no.
Shit. Okay, I didn't know we could go that far with it. I thought it was just describe things left on the beach that get washed away, not straight
I
up.
mean, they get
things-
washed away. That's for sure.
They do get washed away.
Mhm.
Hey,
And the thing that I find to be really sending a shiver down my spine when it washes away is a dozen um, a dozen 10-foot tall mannequins that are streaked with some of that black goo, and like in hand marks. You can see that hand marks are on them, and as if the hands were being pulled down different parts of the mannequins. Some of them were buried upside down. Some of them were just lying there. There are two that were looking at each other, and pointing, almost like the Spider-Man meme. And the others, like, they're all starting to degrade. The tide reclaims all of them after a little while, but there seems to be a component there that is very, very scary.
I know something uncanny to include, but there's a mailbox on the beach. So the straight up like suburban, the straight up a mailbox you would see in front of a house with a white picket fence. It's standing there where you would expect where you would expect an umbrella to be stuck, and and when the waves wash in the pole just cracks and it falls over. Never gets swept away. It's like, what? Hey, hey, what? Hey, why a mailbox? What is a mailbox doing?
Love that. So, Officer Locke, you're walking on this beach, making sure that the perimeter is well and truly secured.
The perimeter
And-
is inside of we make sure the mailbox is on the outside of the perimeter.
And you see something that definitely you shouldn't be seeing because no one should be here except for you all. But you see a man in a dark green trench coat that just barely avoids the ground atop a many times stained white button-up shirt with black suspenders and black slacks. There are dark blue rubber slip-on shoes on his feet and a lit cigarette.
Like,
his six-pack of abs are barely visible through the ever-sweaty shirt. And he is investigating the sand. He's currently like on his belly, looking very, very like pointedly toward the tree. What do you do?
After security reports him, she goes to confront this himself, immediately sizes them up and picks out every one of those details. And she stands in a spot where she knows he can see her. Here's the beach is closed, sir.
He kind of looks up at you and puffs the cigarette before kind of like chewing on the filter a little bit. And he says, "Yeah? On whose authority?"
On the authority of the Long Beach Police Department. You are trespassing in an active crime scene.
Well, that's strange, he says as he stands up. And as he does, you can see a Long Beach police badge on his trench coat. He says, "Now, I know you people must be working for someone really rich and powerful, like Bill Gates, maybe. But no amount of money is ever going to buy me off. The people of California will have the truth, and I will find it, and I will give it to them." Detective, special detective, that is, mind you, with the LBPD, Richard Hart Boyle, at your service.
Her expression does not change, but when he holds out a hand to shake, she shakes back. like firm professional, and then uses her move of setting up telepathic bonds with people to report to others we have an interloper. Or look up this man. Look up this man. Here's his badge number.
Yeah. You go ahead and read off that move, please. And also, which department head are you psychically bonded with?
I know she would want to bond with all of them.
You only get one.
Ah, then it's and then it's gotta be Arena Jarvis.
Sounds good.
And can you please read the text of the move for me?
Okay, you have the ability to form a telepathic bond with people. This bond allows you to communicate with any bonded person over any distance at the speed of thought, including any team members that are currently assigned or unavailable. You are always bonded to your team roster. Yeah, sure. So that's all of my subordinates. In addition, choose one fellow department head to bond to. If your bond with a fellow department head would be lost for any reason, choose a new department head to bond to.
Yeah. So, Superintendent Jarvis, you hear Officer Locke in your brain. What do you say, officer?
We have an interloper for a police detective buys into conservative political conspiracies. He's visible bad. There's a not respecting authority of the law, not respecting the authority we have through the police department, and badge number blah 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 blah. Currently located on the beach, located on the edge of our security perimeter on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Also, picture shows up in your head. And you see the greasy deer guy.
The absolute specimen that is Richard Hartboyle.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. Look him up, verify his identity, and see if we have his identity. He pull rank to get him out of here.
I absolutely will look him up.
Yeah. Hey, Superintendent Jarvis, time is of the essence.
Well, then you better stop sending me that image in my head. All right. And I go, I pull out, I imagine I have some sort of tablet that is super government cracked like thing that I can look up databases I absolutely should not have on a tablet, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I want to look up, just verify all the information about his name, all of that stuff, as well as go looking for research sakes to get a better picture of him, looking for other online profiles, socials, dating app pictures, and just want to make sure that I've got a very clear image.
Yeah,
yes
for
or
sure.
No yes or no question. Is he one of those guys who poses with a fish on dating apps?
Not fish. He poses with garbage that he fishes out of the lakes.
That's worse. This is somehow worse.
What's the most interesting thing he's fished out of a lake, though? Like, because he's pulling weird stuff out. What's the weirdest?
I hope it's not a mannequin.
I think it's probably like a shopping cart that is full of chained down diapers. Okay. Chained with diapers is a whole shopping cart. However, you do also have another question now. How can we get Richard Hartboyle to cease his investigations? It is a complexity 2. Answering the question allows the department heads to confront Heartboil and remove him as a danger.
Why don't we pull up? Is he in good standing with the police department? Like everyone, or does he have any like black marks on his file?
Yeah, go ahead and give me the research move. The research move says when you search for a clue, conduct research, or otherwise gather information, describe how you're doing so, and roll with an appropriate attribute. On a hit, you find a clue. I will tell you what. On a 7 and 9, there's a complication, either with the clue itself or a complication you encounter while searching. I'll tell you what it is. And on a 12 plus, you also find a star clue, which we'll go over once we get to it.
All right. So am I able to make this research move with logic then? Kind of just like
Yeah,
going through his
I believe
files
this
and
is
everything?
definitely logic.
All right. Then I will better put my name in. Charges. But let's get 2d6. That's a 7 plus 2 is a 9.
All right. So you're going to get a clue as well as a complication. And I think we will get back to that here in a moment. Dr. Cerulean and General Gilbert Burns. Welcome to the hot dog stand.
Hot dogs.
Yum yum.
This is Frank's, a small hand-painted wooden shack. There are bar stools.
There's always one.
There are bar stools planted into the sand in front of a serving area. There's a neon sign that is meant to read Frank's, but the broken neon instead spells Frank's Rank. It's a family-owned and operated hot dog stand with great reviews, if the paintings on the walls are to be believed. Let's paint the scene. The hot dog stand smells unlike anything you have ever smelled before, but whatever it is, it's delicious. What disgusting ingredients are hidden in the kitchen?
I think-
Not at first glance you think human. No, those are goat pupils. Why? Yeah, goat eyes is what they're. Not at all creepy rectangular pupils. Well,
I believe that falls under harm to pet and domestic animals. We might want to change that one.
As well as the veil for eye horror.
Yeah, sorry. Well, thank you for demonstrating safety tools in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, okay, you all. Okay, you go. You all go ahead.
Okay. I think it's less like the ingredient by itself, seaweed. It's not a disgusting stuff. But however, it's locally resourced, so and it's being kept out in like a pot rather than being refrigerated or even dried, and that's the gross part.
Gross, California seaweed. And we know that shit's covered in that black goo. It's gotta be.
I just imagined it was from Venice Beach and my stomach turned as an LA resident.
Yummy.
What if all of the hot dogs? So okay, you know how Pizza Hut has that stuffed crust pizza, and so the crust is all stuffed inside. Imagine it's like stuffed hot dog, but it's instead of cheese, it's just way too much mustard.
I like that we haven't gone anomalous yet.
Like more mustard than should be able to fit inside a hot dog. Like when you look at it, for some reason, everyone thinks, "Dear God, Mary Poppins bag." That amount of mustard.
I gotta go with well, when you've been around enough food carts, it isn't that unusual to see cigarette ashes just on the cart in the food, or even in the hot dog water. What is unusual is to see multiple cigarette butts in.
Horrible.
Also, the implication that they just keep hot dog water for some reason. Hate that.
Yeah. All right. So I think I see spiders are green down here, which is great. Instead of like fried onion bits to go on top of the hot dog, fun fact, tarantulas shed their skin to grow, so it's old tarantula skin that's been deep fried.
Hey, excuse me, I need to go throw up before we continue this game. None of that was even anomalous. It's just like
I feel like eating tarantula shed skin's anomalous. Okay.
Spiders George, who is an outlier and should not have been counted. All right. Welcome to Frank's Rank. You see all of this before you. Well, you don't see necessarily the kitchen yet until you go and look, but you do smell that delicious, intoxicating scent of weird hot dog.
Dog. Well, their sign could be repaired. Looks like this is a well-established place, and many of the locals go here, so probably should stop by when it's actually open at some point. But however, there is the problem of the meat monster. Memester.
Beatster.
Meatster. So I think like just looking around sort of the edges of like places, seeing like where this anomaly is growing at and that sort of thing, trying to get the lay of the land.
Yeah, kind of in that same vein. Has the tendrils like pierced the stand itself? Like, if we go look around inside.
Yeah, you are able to see there are roots like around the hot dog stand itself and inside sort of the like patron area where the bars are just where the stools are just in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The roots are identical to that of a non-anomalous Shoria Fegdiani tree for one aspect. They grow into the things that they burrow out of. After the seed has been in soil for long enough time, a meaty tendril that resembles a taproot grows from the pod. So that is what you're seeing currently. It's a big, meaty taproot that's woven in on itself in this sort of spiral pattern. And there are a bunch of them.
You want to go poke it?
I mean, that's what science is all about, right? Poking stuff.
Yeah, like possibly with the bar stool, so we don't actually touch it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think touching it would be pleasant or safe.
You do also notice as you get closer to the roots, there is a very unpleasant odor akin to that of rotting meat.
Oh no. Oh, this is rank. This is awful.
I think Dr. Sterling will reach into one of her many pockets and pull out clothespins and just boop, and then offer one to two parents.
Boop.
Safety first. Oh, sorry. Safety first.
Safety first.
But yeah, I think we'll do exactly what General Burns suggested. Let's poke it with one of the bar stools.
Mhm.
Hell yeah. I think that's research move with physicality? That doesn't seem very logical to me. Just poke it with a stick.
Look, most science is poking things with stick stuff. Okay.
I mean, like this could be anomalous because we're directly engaging with the creature.
Yeah, you could roll either one.
It's still the +0 for me either way.
Same for me, actually.
Either one of you can make the roll.
Go ahead, General.
Mm-hmm. Fuck. It's a 6.
Oh boy. We'll get back to that. Superintendent Arena Jarvis, you you are looking through Richard Hartboyle's file, and let's see here. You see, as you're looking over these images of Detective Hartboyle.
We talked about hot dog water. And, there she's
boy.
nice.
Oh, good. Oh, cool. Great. Awesome. My internet
you
connection is unstable. Thanks, Doom. I didn't notice.
You were frozen for like 30 seconds.
That's great. What did you last hear?
We were cutting over to Superintendent Jarvis.
Correct. So, Superintendent Jarvis, you are looking through Richard Hartboyle's files and social media presence. And as you do so, you see in one of the photos on his grinder, because of course he has grinder, you see him standing at the marine park at Mother's Beach, but behind him, behind one of the walls of one of the buildings, or rather on one of the walls, is is Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, written in what appears to be a mixture of black mold and blood. That is your clue.
Well, that's not the suspicious part. How does he have a grinder profile but thinks we work for Bill Gates?
Incredible.
Does the post like the picture, does it have any like comments underneath it or like anything where he's like bragging like, yeah, check it out, I did this cool art thing on his grinder profile?
No, it just says that he likes the taste of cigarettes. That's all he has written in his bio.
No.
I hate how cursed that is. Just like,
Yummy. A little snack.
The more I learn about this man, the more I wish to detain him, and simply to protect the world from him.
You may not need to detain him. You might just need to get him. And Officer Locke, you keep smokes on you.
And of course not. They're a fire hazard.
Oh god damn.
And I will say as well, I do owe you a complication. And
Uh-oh.
I think as I presume you're like walking to the docks as this whole exchange is going on. I think you step and you notice something under your foot, and taking a look, it is one of those meaty roots. And I'm going to give you the condition seed stench as this rotting odor seeps into your clothing.
Oh. Oh. Okay. That's gonna require some bleach. That's all right. We got that. We can get that taken
Thankfully,
care of.
you're head of the cleaning department.
Yeah. Yeah. We clean up. Everybody's enforcement messes and all that shit. Anyway, I think that why don't you ask him? You know what? I'll just come down there. I know that I smell terrible, and maybe that'll just run him off already. But that'll give us a chance to look more deeply into stuff. Oh, also, I just want to like put a note out here. We got roots expanding out here by the docks. Coming off the docks right now, and yeah, it's spreading very bad.
And back with you, Officer Locke, you notice that Richard Hartboyle, as you've been communicating at the speed of thought with Superintendent Jarvis, has not stopped talking. Just not really about much. He's kind of just reciting different talking points from random like internet users that he doesn't actually know, but that he thinks make a good point.
Yeah, it's inconsistent which political spectrum he's drawing from. It's as if he just opened up Twitter and copied random.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. And yeah, what do you do?
Sir, if you have, sir, if you have any complaints about our conduct, you may that you it is within your capability to to contact and lodge a complaint with the LBPD. Yeah, I'm afraid this area is closed off to all unauthorized personnel.
I would like you to make the risk move with presence, please.
Oh, I have willpower, not presence.
The risk move says when you do something risky or face something unexpected, I would say Hartboyle in and of himself is pretty unexpected. Name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve, then roll with the appropriate attribute. So what are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I am we don't have a presence stat. I just noticed.
Not presence, my bad. I meant empathy. I'm running so many CFB games and writing too.
Yeah. Oh, Ulysses is not great at empathy. What she's afraid will happen is that he will run. And she can handle him if he gets violent, but if he runs, that's a problem. If he runs, that's a breach. And so that is a security risk.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Where is that dice?
So it is in the info tab. Click roll dice with friends.
There it is. That is a 10. And 6 and a 4.
Yeah. All right. On a 10 plus, you do what you intend or you hold steady. Describe what it looks like.
And he doesn't respect me, but he is deferential to me. Yeah, as it Especially after I conclude that by saying, and if you do not, and if you are disobeying direct orders from your superiors, then I'm afraid I will have to lodge. I'm afraid I will have to lodge a complaint against you.
He kind of narrows his eyes at you and like visibly takes a bite out of the cigarette that's in his mouth, then spits the rest on the ground and makes the I'm watching you motion before walking backwards.
I imagine he actually spits it on her shoes and she just doesn't react.
Just backing up, making this over and over again, slowly chewing on half of a cigarette.
Yeah, as he walk.
Congrats. He's out of your hair for now. What are you trying to do now?
He's the superintendent. The perimeter is now secure. Secure the interloper has interloper has backed off.
Well, that's a shame. I was hoping to see him have to take his shirt off.
I will inform you. I will inform you of his. We will keep him under surveillance. I will inform you of his activities, particularly if he goes through processing.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I got someone I can assign to. That, who's real good at it. Can I assign somebody to it?
I mean, not currently. It is not the point where you use the staff move, but you can in the next round of them.
Okay. Then, yeah.
So, going back to Dr. Cerulean and General Gilbert, you rolled a 6, correct? On the meddling move? Or not meddling move, the research move.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that what happens here is really it kind of just goes when you poke it, and you see this like thin sort of membrane on it like wiggle a little bit, and the stench gets worse. I'm going to give you both the seed stench condition, unless you would like to file paperwork and change the result of your die roll.
Yeah, I do want to file paperwork.
Excellent. So when you file paperwork, you choose either your resume, a safety and wellness review, or each investigation also has what's called an incident report. This is another type of paperwork that you can file. When filing paperwork, it will have you respond to or act on a prompt, and then the result of the die roll that you made goes up by 1 tier. So this miss would become A7 and 9. The incident report for that which sustains is, I forgot to put the name in there because I'm a dingus, but it is incident report altered consumption incident. Each department head narrates a scene in which they give in to a strange and unusual craving, is what that one says.
Oh. Yeah, I'll mark because it's funny. The path of nope, I'm looking at the wrong one. The path of ego. Take the following condition, employee of the month. Tell the other department heads they can no longer choose this path of ego on their own playbook. This does not count as being marked for them. You can never clear employee of the month.
Excellent. That's a permanent +1 to your physicality, baby.
Yeah, a permanent +1 to my physicality.
Effectively. All right. We love that for you. So instead, what happens is you see, as you poke the thing with a stick, there is something kind of lodged in between some of the spiraling of the tendrils, and kind of just nudging it a bit, you are able to get it loose. And it's a napkin that is rank with cologne. That is your clue.
Mm.
Personally, I think we got off easy with that one.
And for your complication, I think you see the backside of Richard Hartboyle walking toward the direction as he is still staring in the direction of Officer Locke.
So he's
Oh.
walking backwards towards the hot dog stand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh, hello. I'm trying to get the attention. Dr. Imogen, do you want to engage with this guy?
Oh, I'm gonna go get some samples, I think. I think you got this.
He immediately turns on his crock-laden heel and says, "Oh, there's more. I knew it wasn't just the one. Richard Hartboyle, you're on it again. Dick Hartboyle, Long Beach."
He came here in Crocs?
You know, General, I think I've changed my mind. This is an interesting specimen that I'd like to study further.
And you do see his sweat-soaked white t-shirt that is soaked through with sweat that you can see his abs.
All right.
And
So
I think with that, we're going to go to Stars and Wishes.
cool.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be a field command, a General General Burns, an interloper outside of the perimeter is approaching your location.
So Stars and Wishes is a debrief technique that we use at the end of this game. Basically, just everyone goes around and says some stars, which are things that you enjoyed about the game, as well as wishes, things that you would like to see come up. Starting with whoever wants to go first.
Okay, I'll start with star for both Steph and Chaotic for calling me out on lines and veils. Thank you for clarifying. Sorry, I immediately reached for. Oh, and there's the dead. Oh, and that happened.
mhm.
And I just want to collectively, everyone gets stars for the items we create. It somehow rounded out our characters while making them so much stranger at the same time.
Yeah, I gotta give stars for everyone's characters that they feel very distinct personality-wise from each other. I'm not quite sure about what sorts of archetypes we're hitting with these types of characters because I really haven't seen anything like this before, and I'm very fascinating to like kind of put the thumb on the scale about defining these types of archetypes. Just generally, like, I gotta keep a star for this system because it has like a lot of stuff I like in terms of moves and mechanics, with like how core moves seem to relate to each other, but they're not they don't overlap too much. So like you have like sort of I don't have a really better archetype for it, but it's like a subclass effectively for it, and I'm very fascinated. I love having little guys. It just I love just the little guys. And I'm looking forward to like seeing how this system develops even further.
I wanna echo the stars on the little guys. Having interesting like staff people to call on and do stuff is really cool. I also wanted to echo the stars on everyone's like adding everyone adds so much to everyone else's characters with the items and talking about all of the just collaboration that I feel like is really good, and I really enjoyed it, especially with the tricorn hat and with our just everyone was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it feels redundant to do this, but love the items I was given. Steph's, especially a call out to Steph's mystery public access. Love that. Love the fucking snow globe. Is so ridiculous. I love the moves are like so like it was very difficult to pick a move for my playbook, I'll be honest. But I couldn't resist the one I chose, which we'll get to in later sessions, I'm sure. The character looks are just fucking top tier. Big shout out for Chaotic for the fucking tricord hat. I'm it's gonna live rent free in my head all week. Yeah. And yes, also star for the little guys, all the little guys. At least I haven't read everyone else's, but all of mine are just fucking out there. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, tiny underrated thing I'm gonna give a star just to highlight it to director star. Or I know absolutely nothing about director star, but every tiny tidbit I get just makes me go, why? Why is this guy in charge? Who is this?
He's great. I'm excited to introduce him.
I love the short monologue. I love the short monologue at the beginning. It was like, who are you?
Thank you. So yeah, my stars and wishes. Star for the whole group for going with this. I really appreciate you all being here to playtest my game. I've been really involved in this for like the better part of half a year now, and I've just been knee deep in the fucking soup, man. So I'm really great to get it out there, and I'm so happy that you're all enjoying it and interacting with it. So this is like exactly the kind of vibe that I wanted. I wanted it to be weird and humorous, but also with that sort of underlying, there is some shit going on that will happen. So I'm very glad that we're getting that, and I'm glad that we're getting this sort of more humorous tone in the first couple sections here. I imagine that'll start slowing down as the horror ramps up, and then vice versa. So I'm excited to see just the way that the tone shifts throughout play. And stars for like individually, Aaron, I love just yeah, we got aunts, we got uncles. They suck. They wanted all of my money. So I don't talk to them anymore. I love that. I love a good inheritance dispute like thread. I'm excited to maybe tug on that a little bit in the next one. See what that has to do with everything. Or
someone knocking on the door. We know you work here. Let us.
Look at this expensive job you have. You didn't need that fucking money.
For chaotic, I love General Burns. Gilly is such an interesting character Like, why are you here, buddy? What are you doing in this place? You don't seem to belong anywhere, let alone here. And I love him so much. I'm very excited to get into like some of his resume stuff, as well as the Employee of the Month condition, which is it's effectively most beloved from other CFB games, and it's one of my favorite conditions in any CFB game is that type. So I'm very excited to see how that progresses. I haven't written too much about it yet, just because I want to experience it in play before writing anything about how to handle it. So I'm very excited to get that experience, especially so early on. Really great. For Kyle, I really love how fucking thirsty for hard boil
Yeah.
Arena is.
Yeah, I love that too.
It's incredible. It's
Arena sees attractive people and thinks maybe that could be divorce number 4.
God damn.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
bigger
Oh,
number,
that
better
makes
person.
Oh my god, I forgot to star divorce, 3-time divorcee.
Oh.
That was so good.
Such a tiny detail, but so me- oh so
fix
so
him.
good.
me.
I can fix him.
I could get him to stop eating
I
cigarettes.
can get him to stop eating them cigarettes.
We have to stop fishing shopping carts out of the river.
Honestly, I'd let him keep the shopping carts if he just stopped eating cigarettes.
It's 3 Crocs are the deal breaker. Why would you show up to work in Crocs?
Like
Oh.
I just imagine him in my head, besides the Crocs, wearing this like robe and like a bathrobe, and then it's just crawling in the sand, very sweaty.
Out
Yeah.
of all the NPCs to open the story with, bravo, Steph, you made one of the most memorable NPCs I have ever. NPCs
Thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of fun writing him. I was freaking out the whole time. I was like, wait, what if I made him hot, though?
Oh no!
What
Oh,
if
no,
I
he's
made this
hot.
disaster hot, too?
Oh no, he's hot.
Or we cut him. Are you photoshopped or something?
Why do you look like that?
Oh, what a cool anomaly though. Like you're just essentially you're photoshopped as people see you.
It would be neat. Okay.
The
As far
parts
as,
don't match up.
Some wishes go, I am excited to see a thankless job come into play.
Oh yeah.
I really like the idea of giving 2 players control of the narrative and seeing how they bicker about it. I think that's going to be fun. Because it's kind of exactly what I imagine when I think of like an ops person. My dad's worked call centers his entire life, so also for my entire life that I've been alive. So I know a lot about operations, let me tell you. So I'm very excited to see these moves come into play as well. For Jane, I really love the straight edge to the rest of the everything that's going on. Like almost comically serious, which is an impressive feat.
Oh yeah, I
I
love playing the straight man if I can.
I also like the choice for going with like the most like not out there picks for the look, to make it like very, I am such a serious business lady and I do my job real and serious like, and I love that for her.
Yeah.
I've got a very good vibe of what this character is, and it's very exciting. I'm also super excited to see detainees come into play, which, by the way, I should have gone over this when we did the staff move, which is my bad. But when you do the staff move with Officer Locke's permission, any department head can assign up to 2 detainees instead of staff members.
So
And these are basically D-class personnel.
Yeah, you
Okay,
get to go. You get to go send some cannon fodder out.
It's like, hey, someone better touch that. Poke this with a stick. Hey, you poke that with a stick.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I'm very excited to see all of that go on. And that'll pretty much wrap it up. I do want to say that if you listening want to try playtesting this game, you can do so if you join the Gauntlets Discord and go to the Site 42 channel in the CFB Games forum. There is a link to the playtest materials folder there. I'll also be adding one in the description of this YouTube video. But if you go into the Gauntlet server and do all that, you also get to see me scream about the game in real time as I develop it. Up to you whether that's good or not. But yeah, thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for watching. And let's wave bye to the people on the video. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
You can't see
everyone.
my hand, but I'm waving.
Bye.